what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to tell you about 7 sweet style fragrances I wore this week that I think you'd enjoy. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, so kicking things off on Saturday, I wanted to reach for something that I hadn't grabbed in a little while. I wanted to wear something that was a little on the woody side, but still had that bit of sweetness to it. And so I reached for Bvlgari Wood Essence. Now this one you can pick up at discounters for about $50 for a 60 ml or $65 for a tester of 100 ml. I'm gonna have links down in the description to all the fragrances I covered today, so if you wanna check any of these out, go click in the description, I'll have some links for you. This is a very interesting fragrance that kind of caught me off guard when I first got it. When you hear the name Wood Essence, you figure this is gonna be a very upfront, woody, masculine, rugged sort of fragrance. But it's not. It's definitely got some woods in there, but what this does is it has this like sugary citrus note at the very top, along with some like zesty lemon that's mixed in there, a little bit of spice, and then this wood essence kind of comes into it. But it is very much a wood essence. It's not a very strong woody style fragrance. The woods in here are gorgeous though that come through. It's like kind of like a tree bark, resinous style woods, but the sugary citrus that's at the top with that little bit of lemon zest gives it a very interesting, sweet, woody sort of style to it that, again, I wasn't expecting, but I absolutely love it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. At the base, you get more kind of a benzoin vanilla base to it that gives it a little bit of warmth, that gives it a little bit of added sweetness to it, and it kind of elevates that wood essence, if you will, along with that sugary citrus that sits up top. Very kind of creamy woods, very masculine, but still got that sweet edge to it. So it's a very pleasing, casual style fragrance that I absolutely love. I was really surprised with this one. I did not expect the kind of level of sweetness that's in here. It's not overly sweet, but it's sweeter than a typical wood style fragrance would be. And that's why I really, really enjoy it. It's quite unique. It's not like a mind-blowing niche style fragrance. It is, you know, pleasant, crowd pleasing, easy to wear. And that's why I really enjoy it. Performance on this is about average. I got about 5-6 hours of longevity, and projection, moderate. It doesn't push out super hard, but people are gonna smell you for the first couple hours for sure, and then it does settle in a little bit closer to the skin. But performance on this, about average, not bad, but for the scent profile, I absolutely love this. Super happy I picked it up and wore it on Saturday. If you wanna check it out, I highly suggest you do. That's Bvlgari Wood Essence. All right, moving into Sunday, I reached for something that's one of my favorites in the Armaf line, and hardly anybody talks about this. I think it's underrated, and that is Armaf's Italiano Nero, Uomo. Now this bad boy you can pick up at places like Fragrance Buy for like $25. It is a little tricky to come across nowadays. I find when I was looking before I made this video, it was sold out at various discounters. I'll still leave some links down below to check it out. You can set notifications when they do restock, because I think for $25, this fragrance is an absolute steal of a deal. The notes listed at the top are lemon and bergamot, but either they're wrong or my nose is just confused, because what I get is very distinguishable, is a juicy, delicious, sweet pineapple that's in the opening. Absolutely gorgeous, like Dole fruit cup, syrupy style pineapple that I really, really enjoy. It does move into some like a little bit of freshness from, I believe, some lavender, a little bit of cypress kind of moves in there, giving it like a touch of kind of masculine woods around the edges, but you really get that pineapple, that sweet pineapple vibe mixed with that bit of freshness, that bit of woods. Absolutely gorgeous. Another funny thing that kind of happens with this one, and again, it's not a note that's listed, but I get this little hint of strawberry that comes through. I'm not sure if it's a mixing of the notes that kind of gives off that vibe or what's happening, but I get a little bit of strawberry coming out of this, and it's delightful. I absolutely love that mix of that pineapple, that strawberry, that freshness, and that little bit of woods. At the base, you get a bit of amber and patchouli, so it adds a little bit of warm sweetness to it, and a little bit of earthiness to it that just rounds this out perfectly. I absolutely love the scent profile on this. Beautiful, fruity sweetness with kind of edges of masculinity. It's got this like elegant, gentlemanly vibe to it, but still super fun and playful with that sweetness, that freshness that comes through with it. Gorgeous, gorgeous scent profile. I don't think this gets talked about nearly enough because it's just a beautiful fragrance and it gets overshadowed by a lot of other Armafs. So love the scent profile, and the performance on this, I get great performance on this. I get easy 8 hours of longevity, and the first 2-3 hours projection wise, it does push off fairly heavy before it does settle in a little bit more. For $25, performance on this, scent profile, I think is a steal of a deal. If you haven't checked it out, I think you should. That's Armaf's Italiano Nero, Uomo. All right, moving into Monday, I reached for one of my favorites that I haven't touched in a little while, and I'm so glad I did. It's Jaguar Gold Classic. Now this one is a certified cheapie on most discounters. You can pick this up for like $19 for a full presentation, or you can go the route I did and roll the dice for a tester for even less and not get a cap. I know it's not important to have a cap for the presentation because it's what's on the inside that matters, but it really bugs me that I don't have a cap. If any of you out there have a cap for Jaguar Gold Classic and you're willing to sell it to me, just hit me up, because this, every time I see this, it bothers me. And it shouldn't, but it does. It bothers me. I'm so upset that I didn't get a cap. Moving on though, this fragrance is gorgeous. This is a very sweet apple that opens up with a little bit of lime that's mixed in there, and you get this beautiful orange blossom and this like hint of teakwood that's in there. The teakwood kind of just adds like a little bit of masculine edge to it, a little bit of kind of soft woods, maybe a hint of spice. But what I really get out of this is that apple note mixing with that orange blossom. It's just a very creamy, sweet, beautiful, beautiful opening on this. It reminds me of Jill Sanders' Sun in a lot of ways, if you are familiar with that fragrance. This opening on this is very, very similar in that way. It's got that orange creamsicle sweetness with that fruitiness to it, and that little hint of lime in there gives it a nice little pop, a little kind of a citrus boost to it. But what you really get is that fruity sweetness with just a little bit of woods on the edge with that teakwood. As this dries down, you get a little bit more sweetness in the base from some amber, I believe, is in there, or some vanilla vibes going on, and a touch more kind of some patchouli musk in the base to get a little bit of earthiness. But what you really get from this is that sweet fruit, that orange blossom floral kind of going through. Gorgeous, gorgeous scent. Very like sophisticated smelling, but yet still like fun, playful, a little bit on the flirty side. Great date night fragrance. Great casual fragrance. I wouldn't say you could dress this up into like a formal fancy event necessarily. It's definitely more of a casual style, but for a date night, this has got that right level of kind of sweetness and sensuality to it that I think you would do perfect. Performance on this, about average. I got about 6 hours of this. Projection, moderate. So it didn't like blast off my skin, but people definitely smell you. That sweetness and that florals that mix in there with that orange blossom, it does kind of push off a little bit more. It is a little, you know, sweet, so people will smell you for sure, but it does settle in a little bit closer and becomes a little bit more intimate. So projection's not huge, but it is average. And performance, like I said, about 6 hours for like $19. Again, I'm gonna have links down in the description if you want to check this one out. I think for $19 is an absolute steal. If you want to roll the dice like me and get a tester, I think you can get this for like $13 if you want to go for a tester, but you might not get the cap, and I wish I paid the extra $6 to get a cap, to be quite honest, but it is what it is. You roll the dice when you go for a tester. Absolutely gorgeous fragrance. I think you'd really enjoy it if you enjoy that kind of fruity sweetness with a little bit of orange blossom and kind of some masculine edge to it with some woods around the edges. Gorgeous fragrance. Check it out. It's Jaguar Gold Classic. All right, so moving into Tuesday, I reached for something that is brand new in my collection. I've been wanting to get this one for quite a while and I just never did, but now I have it, and that's Azzaro Chrome Pure. Now, if you've been following my channel for a little bit, you know that Post Cologne gives you some hot tips occasionally, and one of those hot tips is keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace. There's always people selling fragrances there for way less than they're actually worth. They're getting rid of, you know, fragrances from old roommates or ex-boyfriends or whatever the case might be, and you can take advantage of that. And that's what I did. I found this bottle on Facebook Marketplace for $10 in the box for a 30 ml. It was an absolute steal of a deal. Otherwise, you can find this at discounters for a still affordable price. It's about $35, $40 for 100 ml. Again, I'm gonna have links down in the description if you wanna check this one out. I'm so glad I picked this one up. I really enjoy the Azzaro Chrome line. They've got some really great flankers that are in there, and this is one of them. It's a very orange, coconut, sort of tropical style fragrance that's absolutely gorgeous. You get this mandarin, this orange blossom, a little bit of tonka mixed in there. There's a hint of coconut and a little bit of watery notes to it. It's not like an aquatic style fragrance. It is more that kind of orange creamsicle with some coconut. And then you get some like musk and some cedar around the edges to kind of give it that more masculine edge to it. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It's very creamy, very coconut orange style fragrance. And it smells fantastic. Performance on this is not fantastic. It's about 5 hours before you're gonna have to reapply. It's not a huge performer. Projection on this, about an arm's length for the first like hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's not a very strong projection necessarily. And then it does settle in a little bit closer. So I'm glad I got the 30 ml bottle. I can kind of pack this along with me if I need to reapply. So performance, a little bit below average, to be honest, but scent profile in this, above average. I really enjoy the scent profile in this, that creamy orange, creamsicle, coconut, hint of musk, hint of cedar in there. Gorgeous, gorgeous style fragrance. I really enjoy this one. Very casual, running errands, out for lunch. It does have that summer vibe to it, so it's got a little bit of a beachy vibe to it, but I think you can pull this off in the fall just as easy. I think this is, again, a very easy fragrance to wear, very pleasant, very crowd-pleasing style fragrance, and I really enjoyed wearing it this week. So I think you should maybe check this out, and that's Azzaro Chrome Pure. All right, moving into Wednesday, I was feeling a little bit on the tropical side, even though we're getting close to fall, and so I reached for a fragrance that gives me that tropical vibe, and that is Calvin Klein Eternity Now. Now this fragrance you can pick up for about $25 for 100 ml. I've seen this at rack stores a lot as well, so keep an eye out at rack stores. You can find it in and around that range, and I think for $25 this is absolutely worth it. This one is a very tropical style fragrance. This has a coconut note in it. It has some like star anise and some ginger at the top. What I really pick up is the coconut and some of that ginger. The ginger kind of gives it this like spicy citrus sparkle to it along with that coconut. It does die down fairly quick. That ginger doesn't last for a while, but the opening is really nice. It's got this little bit of effervescence to it mixed with that coconut. And then what you get in the mid is this star fruit. This star fruit just comes through and really gives it that tropical vibe. Very sweet fruit mixed with that coconut. There's a little bit of cedar and some musk that's mixed in around the edges, so that it does give you kind of that warm woods feel to it, but it is very tropical in that sense. The woods and the musk kind of just give it like a little bit of that masculine edge, but this is mostly a sweet, tropical coconut starfruit style fragrance. It does have a little bit of like a vanilla base to it, like a warm, creamy vanilla that comes through in the dry down, but you still get that hint of fruit, you still get that coconut, and it's just a beautiful, sweet style fragrance with that masculine edge. Very fun, it's sexy, flirty, a little bit playful, but you can wear this very casually. You can wear this on a date night. I'd say this is, again, more kind of like a summer style fragrance, but I can definitely see this in the spring and fall, not a problem. It's a very versatile, easy to wear, pleasant, fun, flirty style fragrance that I think a lot of people would really enjoy. Performance on this for a CK is actually above average. In general, I'd say this is about an average performer, about 6 hours of longevity. It doesn't project huge, but you get an arm's length for the first hour or two. People are gonna smell you, and then it does settle in. But for like a CK fragrance, CK fragrances are kind of like, in my opinion, kind of weak for the most part, but I think this is like a bit of a stronger performer when it comes to CK fragrances. So I was really, really pleased with how this comes across performance-wise. And again, for like $25 at discounters, links are gonna be down in the description if you wanna check this one out. I think this is a beautiful, sweet, tropical style fragrance that a lot of people will enjoy, and I think you might enjoy as well. So check that out. It's CK Eternity Now. Moving into Thursday, I decided to grab a classic, something that's been in my collection for quite a while. Lots of people talk about it. You've probably already heard of it. It's Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Now you can pick this up from rack stores. I see this at rack stores all the time, but if you want to go to an online discounter, this will run you about $30, $40 for a 100 ml bottle. Again, I'm gonna have links down in the description if you want to check this one out. But this is kind of a classic in this modern sense because it's such a good fragrance. It does have that kind of Invictus Aqua vibe going on to it. It's definitely in that neighborhood. This opens up with this gorgeous, beautiful grapefruit note to it with a little bit of extra citrus to it. It has some watery notes, some lavender, some cardamom. This comes across in the opening as very bright, very fresh, and like sort of aquatic, and it does move into like a little bit more of that aquatic feel as this kind of moves through the mid towards the dry down. Very sweet, very grapefruit. Like the grapefruit is not like super citrusy. I find it has like a touch of sweetness to it along with that citrus vibe to it, and the freshness that comes through with some of that lavender and that hint of spice with the cardamom. Gorgeous, gorgeous, sweet, aquatic style fragrance. You get some woods that come through in the base that gives us this like nice masculine edge to it, and it's just a beautiful, playful, fun, relaxing, sweet, fresh, aquatic style fragrance, and I absolutely love wearing this one. Performance on this, average, not that great. You get about 5 hours out of this maybe, and then you got to reapply. But again, this is fairly cheap. You can find this at most places. You just reapply it, not a big deal. Projection, again, not too heavy, about arm's length for the first hour or two before it does settle in a little bit. So performance on this, about average. It's not a super performer, but the scent profile in this, I absolutely love it. It's just gorgeous, like I said, sweet, fun, citrusy, aquatic style fragrance. Got that freshness, got that sweetness. Easy to wear, crowd pleasing. You can't go wrong with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Very casual style fragrance. Wouldn't be a dress up style fragrance. Running errands, going to the gym, going for lunch with friends. This is a perfect thing to wear. I definitely think you should be checking it out if you haven't already. That's Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. All right, so moving into Friday, it was the weekend. I wanted to wear something fun. I wanted to wear something playful. I wanted to wear something sweet. It's the OG from the line and it gets outshined by its flankers, but I still think it needs attention, and that's Azzaro Wanted. Now you can pick this bad boy up at discounters nowadays for around $35. Again, I'm gonna have links down in the description if you wanna check this one out. And like I said, this one gets outshined by its flankers. The Most Wanted, Wanted by Night, the new Parfum that recently came out, but I still think the OG is really good. Those ones, the flankers are friggin' fantastic. I love the flankers of this, but I don't think the OG gets as much love as it should, and in some cases it gets crapped on, and I don't see why, because I really enjoy the scent profile on this. It opens with this like lemon, the zesty lemon with some sparkling ginger and this apple note that's in there that gives it a really nice fruity, like very sweet, juicy, fruity note that's just really sweet. Like, let me tell you, of all the fragrances I've talked about today, this one is definitely one of the sweeter ones that comes across, but it does have that lemon zest and that sparkliness from the ginger at the very top. It does move, it has a little bit of spice in the middle. It's got some added mint from like a mint note at the top and some geranium in there to give it a touch of earthiness, a touch of aromatics, but what you really get is that apple note that's there. You get some tonka in the base to kind of warm it up, give it a little bit of kind of a warm vanilla base, and you get some nice woods around the edges to give this kind of a masculine feel, masculine vibe to it, but you really get the sweetness from this. The tonka, the apple, some of those aromatics mixed in there. It's a very sweet fragrance, and I absolutely love it. I still think this is a great fragrance, even though the flankers are just incredible in my opinion. They're like A+ fragrances, some of the flankers. Still think this deserves a lot more love. Performance on this, I get easy 8+ hours. This performs great off my skin. Projection for the first 2-3 hours does push out beyond their arm's length before it settles in, so people are gonna smell you. I would kind of take it easy on the sprays. This can come across a little bit cloying because it is very sweet. Not a hot weather fragrance. I'd say this is a little bit cooler, fall, spring style fragrance. And in the winter time, I'm not sure if this would cut through the cold as much as some of the flankers might. So the flankers are definitely appropriate for very cool kind of weather, but definitely not in the summer. More of a cool weather style fragrance. Very casual, very fun, very playful, flirty. You can pull this off on kind of a date night. You can pull this off kind of casual, hanging out with friends. Not really a dress up style fragrance. This is very sweet in that sense, and it doesn't have that kind of formal elegance to it. Definitely more of a playful vibe going on with this one, and I absolutely love it. I definitely think you should be checking this out. I think this will be getting way more love. That's Azzaro's Wanted. All right, so there you have it. That's 7 sweet style fragrances that I wore this week that I think you might enjoy and I think you should be checking out. Let me know down in the comments, what did you wear this week that you really enjoyed? Did you wear any kind of sweet style fragrances? Let me know. Go click on the comment box. Let me know what you were wearing this week. Love hearing from you guys. Like I always say, I appreciate all the comments. I read all the comments. Love getting your recos. Love hearing what you're wearing. Go do that. Go type in the comment box. Let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you all next time.